Do da da do 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 da da do do do. In the very first time I had a podcast, I had my friends to say hi. We were talking on microphones.
I swag. I swag. Then I swear on hypnotic.
Yeah, we're here.
Ecstatic.
We're back.
Bipolar on my body.
Unfortunately, we're back. That's a different song, but we'll get to my guest here in a second. But if you're new here, this is Dated, a show that investigates love. I'm your host, Danny. I'm in an undisclosed place here in New Jersey, and the voice that you've heard is someone that, if you know me, you may know this voice pretty well. If you ever heard or listened to the show Callbacks, if you have an Instagram, if you happen to teach, I don't know, if you just like white guys with a decent amount of swag, Sam Salem's here. What's up, bro?
Deacon Daniel. We're so back.
The pod gods have.
I don't want to be with anyone but you. Nobody gets me, you.
I don't want to say hear that in a hotel room with this. That's crazy.
Yeah,
What's up, bro?
Podcasting with you makes me understand the yearning that SZA writes about in her songs.
SZA, oh yeah, thick. Shout out to Thick SZA too. I mean, she's always been thick, but shout out to specifically Thick SZA.
We're a minute into recording, and Danny found a way to bring up thick black women again. It's either Delta flight attendants,
Yeah, I haven't cussed.
or it's women singers.
That is very true. Sam, thank you for doing this. We're in New Jersey, Rutherford, right before our show here.
Yes, sir. I'm on tour. We're headlining. Danny's opening for me.
Yeah, we were back. But all right, so the show it investigates love. First question I like to ask my guests, what is your first example?
My first example of love?
Yeah.
Like in life?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess my parents, they're very sacrificial, loving people.
Tell me about that.
Faith-filled, good Christian folk.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They were just all about doing things. I mean, I guess this was later in life, but like, my sisters lived like in Minneapolis and my dad lived a half hour away in the suburbs. And
Sure.
like, if it snowed out, he would wake up at like 5:30 a.m. to go clear their cars off of snow. Cause he knew that they had to get ready for work. They don't have garage parking or anything.
Gotcha.
So he'd be the kind of guy that's just like, that was just like normal. He didn't think like, wow, let me do this great act of kindness. He was just like, oh, these are the kinds of things that you do. So that's, that's like the dad I grew up with.
Yeah, I feel like I like to ask that question because I feel like that really does, it's a precursor to how you are as a person, as a quote unquote lover or whatever. Like knowing you, I'm not married to you, of course, but I feel like you're very much like a acts of service kind of person, even with your friends too, low key.
Yeah, I brought you a present.
Yeah, I was like, thanks, bro. I really appreciate that.
I feel like I'm starting to creep the bros out because I'll just be like, here, I brought you this sweatshirt that reminded me of you. That's literally what I did. And then they're just like, thanks.
It's like when dogs bring like rats from outside. Like, oh, okay, thank you, buddy, for bringing me this. But I will rock that Carhartt though. I was appreciate it.
Yeah, man, had to get you a Martin Luther King Jr. Day gift.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't like you see the teal Martin Luther King shoes, Nike shoes they were trying to put out.
No,
I don't know if it was spam or not, but the hotel that Martin Luther King got assassinated off of.
I did see those.
I don't know. I truly don't know if it was real or not.
It could be AI. It could be real.
People are talking about it, but
yeah,
you for the record, people, it was not a Martin Luther King styled Carhartt. It was just a regular Carhartt.
Yeah. Well, it was my personal drawing in Sharpie of Martin Luther King Jr. on the front of it.
Alive, by the way.
But yeah, no, you're right. I feel like that is like the acts of service, gift giving kind of like, oh, this makes me think of that person. That was kind of both my parents. So I feel like, dudes expressing love to dudes, it can be toxic in today's culture. But to me, I'm just like, I don't know, like, Danny would like this sweatshirt. I can get it for him. And I don't think that's weird. And you were just like, all right, thanks.
Yeah.
And it was a very normal interaction.
No, I think as we get older too, we get more sentimental about our relationships because we all have had maybe relationships come and go, for like even friendships and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think people that you still rock with when you're in your 30s, probably 40s or whatever in life. It's like this is actually my chosen family, so I will do low key anything for you, high key,
Yeah.
on some chill shit.
Are we running fades together?
Yeah, let's run some fades.
Would you like to run some fades?
Yeah, please, brother. All right, so Sam, you are married. At one point, I was also married. I also want to read. I was telling somebody about this our callbacks time. We probably started callbacks at maybe the worst time in our lives, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, if you listen to that podcast, you'd know, but my mom was in hospice dying of brain cancer, and Danny was in the midst of going through, like actively going through a divorce, figuring out, oh, we shouldn't live together anymore.
Yeah. Like the first episode, I had a wedding ring on.
You like the first 5 episodes you had a wedding
something
ring
like
on.
that. It was like kind of nasty. But all right, so Lucy.
That's my wife.
Lucy is your wife, your lovely wife. Shout out to Lucy, gang, great realtor.
Big Loose.
And Big Loose, is that a real thing or you just made that up?
That's her.
She's not big at all, though.
Imagine that was her real estate company name, Big Loose.
Big Loose.
Big Loose Properties.
That sounds like a illegal, like a really bad lawyer. Like, come to Big Loose. If you slip, fall, come to Big Loose.
Yeah.
All right, so you're and I know the story, so I want people to know kind of how you've gotten to where you're at now from a career perspective, touring. But you're relatively new to stand up in general, and you've made some significant like career shifts throughout that time. And this whole time you've had Lucy, and I don't remember when you actually got married, so I'm gonna learn now. But college, you met in college. Give me the story of how Sam Salem like slid into Lucy's literal or figurative DMs.
Yeah, man. We had a class together, Old Testament class.
Yeah, not the new one. Not the new one either, dog.
The old.
Yeah.
Shout out, reading Leviticus. Well, yeah. So we went to a Christian college. I was there because I got a basketball scholarship. And you had to take Old Testament and New Testament. And she was in my Old Testament class. And there was like a campus event. I don't know, it was like a class of like 40 kids. So small, but like, you're not paying attention to everyone in class. And yeah, one day there was a campus event where there was like a little like talent show coffee house vibe thing in one of the dorms, and so I saw her and I was like, "Is she cute as hell?"
Damn, little mama, I see.
Yeah, she got a great smile and a fat ass.
I'm sure that's how it went. Now, okay, I see. You really know the word, the word of the Lord, Mom.
Yeah.
You recited that off the top of your head. That's crazy.
So I was like, "Hey, why don't you come over to my place?" Read the Bible with me. So yeah, I was just like, we should study together. And then we exchanged numbers, and I knew that she was just gonna like save my number as like Sam, name of our college. Yeah. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna be Sam name. Like I'm gonna be Sam Salem in your phone. And so I like typed out my last name to differentiate myself. Yeah. And then later we were all like talking in a group, and she expressed to like a friend. Somehow Oreo cookies got brought up. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm obsessed with Oreo cookies. Like if anyone brought me Oreo cookies, I'd like love them forever." And then so we had a test coming up. We had said we'd study together. And so I went out and got some Oreo cookies and brought her a package of Oreo cookies to study, and was like, "Guess you got to love me forever."
Damn, this is after you. This is before you start going out. This is off the dribble. Just like I need to.
Yeah. It was certified lover boy. Just yearning, thirsty action. And then we were doing the thing where we were studying and like our knees were touching each other, and it was like the most like exciting. I'm like, we're like 20, 19 years old. I'm like, this is exciting. And then we pretty much just didn't ever stop hanging out. And then we got married at 25, and now. Well, she was 24, and now, we've been married for about to be 9 years. So
let's go back to. I want to go back. So I think we skipped over some parts. I want to know the part of like how you decided where to live, because you lived in Chicago for a second and you came out to LA. And I think anytime people are in relationships, like that's like a big thing to like move somewhere for somebody or not. Yeah. So walk me through that process. You graduated from college, and people that don't know, you were originally trying to be a college basketball coach.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So what was that process like? To be like, hey, babe, I want to coach hoops, and that's a grind. And people don't know, like, you're making no money, you're like thugging it out.
Especially if you're not at the D1 level, you're like literally not making money. Yeah, so I had interviewed for like corporate jobs and like Target and like working distribution at Target or whatever, and just bombed those interviews. And so like I knew I was like, well, I want to get into coaching, but like if I get a good paying job, it's kind of hard to turn it down. And then I got an offer to like this Division III school in Boston couldn't pay for an assistant coach, but they'd give you a free master's, an on-campus apartment, a meal plan, and like a tiny little stipend.
Okay.
So, you're 22, a free master's. You're like, okay, great. And so, we went to a ring before spring kind of school, if you know, where it's like, you get married. You get married before college, which, our faith is important to us, but we were just kind of like, we're like young. We don't need to get married at 22 years old. And so she took an exciting internship out in LA, and I got a coaching position in Boston. So it was just kind of nuts. We were just like super long distance. Like sometimes we'd go and
for how long?
Like the 2 years of my grad school program. Like I guess like in the summers I didn't have to be around as much. I mean I still had to like recruit and stuff.
Sure.
But like there'd be like there was a time where we went 3 months without seeing each other, which like
that's a minute.
That's long. Like that's a long. It's really hard to like. Especially like 22 grad school student. Like I had friends who would be like, not even doing anything crazy, but like, we're like, oh, we're going to just like go hang out or whatever. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to be FaceTiming all night. Or like it's different 3 hours is a different time zone. Like that's kind of nuts.
I've done the time zone thing where it's totally 4 hours, 3 hours, 4 zones over. And yeah, like when you're on the West Coast and they're on the East Coast, you're, ending your night, or like say you're talking to someone on the East Coast, you're in the West. Yeah. You're in the middle of your evening. So you're making dinner. You're maybe are going to get drinks. You might be watching TV. Their day is finishing. So they want to talk and chat. And it's like, dog, it's 7 here. Like I want to like eat and like walk around, hang out with a friend. So it is tough. But I feel like at times the long distance thing can force you to just get to know the person outside of the physical, like the lust of it all, whatever. But that is hard. So then what brings you down in LA? At what point do you stop the basketball deal and say, all right, I gotta go?
Well, she actually, I guess it was like a year and a half that we were Boston to LA, because then she left her job there and took a job in Chicago.
Yes, okay, I forgot.
And so we were Chicago and Boston. And then so when I proposed to her like, I guess a year after college. Okay. And then after grad school, like a year later, I graduated grad school, went back home to live with my parents and just worked this warehouse job. Until August. And then we got married. Like from May to August, I worked this warehouse job. And then we got married. And so I moved into her place in Chicago. And then I was coaching college basketball again, but again, you don't make much money. So it was basically like at our alma mater, I was an admissions counselor and assistant basketball coach, getting paid like $31,000 a year.
How many hours you working?
Crazy. I mean, I just like always. I mean, I worked the 9 to 5 of the job, and then you're either at away games, we were in the Midwest taking bus trips 4 hours away. Thankfully, I didn't have to recruit a ton. I was more like doing film stuff, but I mean, I guess like I'd have like Sunday evenings off, but it was pretty much just like working other than that. And then my wife got an exciting position back in LA again, like spring. Like we were in Chicago together for like 8 months or something like that. And so we moved really out to Long Beach. And so I took a job teaching and coaching with one of my college teammates. And that was like my first teaching job.
That's high school.
Yeah, I was teaching high school and a little bit of middle school. And
so was there ever a point in the teaching thing where like, I want to be a teacher? Like, of course,
that was my background for school. Yeah, like I was an education major, and then because of basketball, I couldn't do the student teaching, so I did all the education classes except for a couple. And so I did. I was a history major, and then I got my master's in education. So like I always knew like, okay, if college coaching doesn't work out, like I always liked the aspect of mentoring the next generation, being a teacher, and then you also get to coach as well. So that was always like something that like I was open to, and had been doing student teaching experiences like throughout undergrad and grad school. And so, so teaching made sense because I had the degree and training for it, and I had the experience. So then I got to teach high school and then coach, like be the assistant coach for one of my college roommate best friend, like with him.
Was that because I had a similar thing where My first job, bro, I was like on bullshit. Literally, like my first job, I remember finishing sports. So I redshirted, but I had another year that I could have played, but I was like done. I was so jaded. And then I remember going to the guidance counselor's office, and for the first time in the business school, and she was like, "So just to start, what do you not want to do for work?" And that movie Wolf of Wall Street just came out too, so I'm like, that seems cool. But I'm like, I just don't want to do anything boring, like sell insurance. That was what I told the lady. And literally 5 months later, my first job was selling insurance.
Of course.
Northwestern Mutual. So like the whole athlete pipeline of like you focused, like, we were a small D1, so there was like at least a glimmer of hope that like maybe this could work out or I could be an NFL player. I had teammates that got drafted. So you're kind of like it's Arrested Development in that way where you're not fully thinking about your career and shit. And so yeah, it was a nasty time. I did that, and then I got into like tech sales. Then that's when I moved to San Francisco. And I think when I moved, I was like, I want to be like an entrepreneur and in tech. So similar to you, where I was in the business schools. I was like, okay, this is my background. I was at a professional sales like focus. So I was like, this could be my bag. But the moment I was in San Francisco, I was like, yeah, bro, this is not it for me forever. Like it could be a tool to get to where I want to go. But I'm curious for you, when was, because I don't think anyone starts comedy just like, oh, this seems cool and whatever. I feel like it's something that kind of calls you to a degree. So what point are you teaching and thinking, I want to do something that is maybe slightly different from just teaching, which is stand-up comedy?
I mean, it started in Chicago, like, because Chicago, as many people know, big comedy city, especially with Second City, and like improv is the big thing there. And The Onion, like the satirical newspaper, is headquartered in Chicago. And I knew like Second City had like a writing for The Onion class, and I'm like, oh, that'd be so. Like I don't know. I thought like creative writing was not something I did, but it always seemed cool. Basically, I talk about this on stage, but like I was an athlete. Please don't look at my statistics at any point in my career because they're all terrible. What you was doing? Averaging like 3 points a game in high school.
3, that's a shot. Okay.
But yeah, like I just thought like if you're an athlete in high school, you have to be a jock. Like if you're a band geek or you're emo or you're punk or you're prep or like you just have to be your stereotype.
Yeah.
But like I really would be sitting there like I didn't ever know I wanted to do comedy, but I thought everyone felt this way, as like a lot of kids will have certain feelings that they're like everyone feels this way, and it's just like maybe some people, but not everyone, where I'd like, my friends would be in the plays and I'd see them performing and I would just have this like jealousy, like not like a bad jealousy, but just like that seems so freeing and fun. Like you get to perform in front of all these people.
Bro, that was for me. It was, there used to be these like kid shows, like the show Zoom.
Yeah.
Or like any of those Nickelodeon like kid game shows.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be that kid. Like I feel like I'm just as charismatic or talented as that kid.
For sure. And like I don't get me wrong, like I love competing. I love like I love sports. I love like the chess aspect of it. But like there was a time, where we're playing our rival school and the stands are packed out and you're warming up, like dunking in warm-up lines and kind of looking around like, hey, all these people are here to see me. Like, once the game starts, you're not thinking about that, but like in the performance of like just like that start running out. And so I always had this like, I didn't know what to do with it. And my mom, I probably said this on callbacks, but like my mom, she always, I didn't even know what Second City was, but she was always like when I transferred freshman year to a school in the Chicago suburbs, she was like, you'll be close to Second City. And her friend or her cousin grew up with Jason Sudeikis, and Jason Sudeikis like quit playing D3 basketball to like move to Chicago.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Do Second City, and like that was like his background of like, and now he's Jason Sudeikis, and so my mom always was like, you should do Second City, or even when I was college coaching, she was like, I could see you as like the guy who coaches, but then like you'd be so great on ESPN. But I always just think like, oh yeah, a parent always just says nice things. Yeah, your mom's gonna be proud of you. But like she really did like just a mother's intuition of like, no, you like performing. And so anyway, when I was in Chicago, I was like, maybe I'll sign up for like a Second City like writing for the Onion class. And then we moved to LA, and you're in the entertainment capital. And so I was too scared. I don't even know why I was just like, I'll just pick a class, and the class that happened to be open that worked with my schedule was the stand-up comedy class. I don't even know why I picked that, but I was just like,
is this COVID or what year is this?
This is like 2018 or something like that. And so I was just too scared. And like, I'm like a big, like, I don't know how to do things, so I'm just not going to do it. So that's why I like signed up for a stand-up comedy class, which are corny, but can be helpful.
Bro, I did the same. I think I told you, I did the same thing in Chicago. I was working my job. I think I got like, either was up for another promotion or I just got it. Like my third promotion in 3 years. And I was making the most money I ever made, but it was the most miserable.
Yeah.
I'm like at that point, I think I started when I was 26, but I started the class like, earlier 26.
Yeah.
So similarly, just like, bro, but to your point, I needed that little bit of structure to be like, it's going to force me to do it. I have to prepare, I have to do homework.
Right.
From the athlete perspective.
Yeah.
And then I was not in that world at all from a cultural perspective, like imagine the people we hang out with now, comedians, and like back then when you had no background in it, like we weren't around those kind of artistic alternative. Some motherfuckers didn't go to college. Like it was a different kind of bag.
Different for sure. But yeah, so that class, I was just like, I mean, this is not a flex at all because it's just like random people signing up for it. But it was like, I genuinely would make people laugh and everybody else would just be like bomb. I mean, I'd bomb a lot too, but people would just be bombing for every week, right? 2 more minutes and like people would just be bombing and it went well. And so I'm like, ooh, I like stand up. But then like you get busy with life. I'm driving like over an hour away to the school I'm teaching at and coaching and teaching. I didn't have time for it. But then COVID hit and I'm like, oh, well, if I'm ever going to do this, people started, like most people, COVID hits, you start taking like a look at your life and being like, okay, I'm locked down in my room all summer or whatever. Let me like, what do I actually want to do with my life? And so obviously fortunate enough and privileged enough during COVID to like not have major worries where I could think about it. But I'm like, oh, when things open back up, I'm going to like actually go to open mics. And so, I was like about to turn 29, which is like pretty late to be starting. And I just started going to open mics, but it was a good time because in LA, COVID like wiped out everything. All of a sudden at open mics, there's people who are like Netflix late night credits hanging out at these terrible open mics because nothing was fully open
outdoors.
Yet. We're in like pizza parking lots.
Yeah, delicious. Shout out to Delicious Pizza on Sunset. I was like, I think that might have been where we met.
For sure. Like, Caitlin and Maxwell running those mics. And so I just kind of was like, oh yeah, I've been here the whole time. And like got to rub shoulders with like people who are like legitimately, even if they're not famous stand-ups, they're like firmly in the scene. So then I kind of just got to be like, hey, what's up guys? And then, things just went well. Obviously social media took off and I was able to,
I'll say before you get to that point, because one or two things, the stand-up class part, I think a lot of people like shit on stand-up classes, but I think what was helpful was like, it did make you essentially it was a writing class. And I think if you reposition it in that way of like, it's teaching you how to write different kind of jokes. And like every week it's the one, you might do one-liners this week, then you might do, stories. So it's like, if teaches you structure, just and then when you start, you like understand what you're good and not good at, and like it kept me focused. But then my second question to you is, during that transition time when you're starting stand up, what is Lucy saying? Is she like, okay, sure? Or she's like, oh, you should, or she's like, I don't know what this even means.
Yeah, I mean, she was super cool about it. I guess it's hard to be. I am grateful, but it's like I don't know any other way, so it's hard to even like be as grateful as I should be.
You're right,
and
right.
I am very grateful, but like she just was cool with it.
Yeah.
I think honestly, like I think I am a good basketball coach. Like I think I would pick up on like, oh, this is like I write a good scouting report. I wasn't passionate about it. Like I thought I was. Okay. And I liked it. But like again, if you're gonna do coach college basketball,
you gotta live it. I mean, it's college sports in general, you gotta live it.
I was making $31,000 a year to work as a full-time college admissions counselor, go to college fairs, and then be, grabbing Chick-fil-A for the players and go road tripping from Deerfield, Illinois to middle of nowhere, Indiana to play a game, film study, whatever. And long practices. And so like you have to love it. And I think my wife I just thought she was maybe being like a little bit like, you don't spend enough time with me. But looking back, it was like, hey, it's not that you don't spend enough time with me. It's like, I can see that you like this, but you don't love it. And to make it in this, you have to, like you said, live it. And I think with stand-up, she just always knew like, oh, like there's something different about this. He likes this. And so that's been really cool. And honestly, she's the one where like I'm afraid of taking risks, and she's kind of like lovingly bullied me of like, hey, you don't ever do stuff unless you know you're guaranteed to make money, and that's holding you back because you're never going to take a risk or spend money on stuff. So like you should do that. Or like I'll be like, oh, well, this person offered to like I can open for them on the road, but I'm actually, by the time I get paid and the cost to get there, I'm going to lose $50 for this weekend. And she's like, and you're going to get more practice in front of a different audience. You're going to network. You're going to become close with this person. And obviously, again, privileged take where like we're good, where she makes enough money where it's like I can take opportunities like that. But yeah, like I've had friends who got married. I mean, I guess you even, but like another friend who he's on the road all the time, and his wife was just like, I'm not doing this, because he wasn't doing stand up when they met.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then it becomes like a big thing where like Lucy is just like, I can tell you actually love this, and you're going to live this, and you're going to grind it. So even though it sucks being home alone for a weekend because you're in Rutherford, New Jersey, I know that this is like your passion. I'm proud of you. So, I mean, I really owe a huge part of my career to like her. Yeah.
I'm curious how much of her own professional pursuits even informed her to be better for you, like show up better for you, right? Like, I don't know when she started in the real estate deal, but that's like a beast in itself. You're
I mean, same time I was really getting into stand up.
So you're building a book of business from scratch. You're like hustling, you're cold calling, you're like knocking down doors.
Right. Yeah, that's been a big help, because we relate to a lot of things. There's so many parallels to like putting yourself out there and trying to sell a house, and like also putting yourself out there and being like, hey, please love who I am on stage, like, and selling yourself. So there definitely has been being able to relate to each other in a big way.
All right, so now let's get to the social media part. So before this current iteration of Sam on social media, what was Sam's like Instagram? What was like the presence? What were you? Was it basketball stuff? Was it shoes? Was it plates of food?
Just like before I was like a content creator?
Yeah, like what was the vibe?
I mean, it was like pictures of me and Lucy on a date with like Bible verses in the captions. It was so embarrassing. It's like, yeah. It was like truly like some cringe. I mean, like cool that we've always, like, what a blessing, like a relationship, and we really just have been like in love. But it's some really just like archiving some of those posts. I was just like, it's like just a grainy photo of us at like the Cheesecake Factory, and I'm talking about as if it's like the the most one of a kind nights and like this. So
what's the origin? Now I want to know the origin of how we got to where we're at now from a social media perspective. Like, do you remember the first video that not even went viral, but it's like got traction for you to be like, all right, I'm gonna low key go in on this a little bit? And when was it?
Yeah, the like on Instagram, it was basically just like, well, I was kind of posting some teaching stuff, and then the school wasn't cool with that, even though the parents and the students in my department chair was. Okay. So that like stuff kind of popped for a second, but then I had to stop. So then I'm like, screw social media.
It was like in classroom stuff, or what?
Yeah. Okay. And then, which was just like everybody that, anyway, it was stuff got blown out of proportion. So then I just stopped posting on social media, and I'm doing stand up. But then it's like, okay, sadly, in today's age, I have 500 followers on Instagram. That is, people look at that and they're just like, you might not be a real comedian. Even though I know plenty of people with 500 followers that are killers on the mic. And so, I heard all these bookers saying like, oh, it does help if you have a following. So one day I'm like, it's so embarrassing. And honestly, posting on social media is embarrassing. That's the one thing that
still.
Yeah, people are, I mean, I'm more used to it, but people, sometimes I get on my friends, I'm like, hey man, you're a killer comic, but you don't act and you don't post on social media. How are you ever going to create a fan base for yourself? Like in today's age. And they're like, well, easy for you to say you like and are good at social media. I'm like, no, this feels all my posts on social media just being like wedding anniversary, time with the family. And then all of a sudden one day I'm like, craziest thing ever happened, guys. Let me tell you a story. And so, but one day I just took one of my stand-up jokes and I told it as a story, as if it had just happened in the classroom. Okay. Which, I mean, it was bits and parts from a classroom experience, and I wasn't expecting anything, but it got 12 million views or 10 million views on TikTok. Okay. And then I didn't really want to post on Instagram because it just felt like TikTok. I don't know anybody on there. These people, I don't know them. But on Instagram, it's like, okay, my friends and friends' parents and people from my church back at home. Like, it's so weird. But one day, this account Betches.
Yeah, BETC.
Yeah, it's like they have like a podcast. It's like this liberal kind of political pop culture account, and their podcast wanted to repost one of my TikToks on their Instagram account.
Okay.
And so I'm like, yeah, you can as long as you tag me. So they did that, and all of a sudden a bunch of people, like not a bunch, but like 100 or 200 people followed me from that video. I'm like, oh, well, if I'm going to keep up this traction, I got to start posting on
here too
Instagram. So then I did, and it was kind of like the traction from those people, because the video they posted of me went viral.
Got you.
On Instagram. And then so people started following me from that. So yeah, it was just all teaching stuff early on. But then I'm like, okay, I like my teaching stories, but I'm not trying to be teacher comedian. I'm trying to be a comedian who has been a teacher or teaches, but I also got other stories. So try to diversify it now a little bit. But yeah, before it was just like, today they told me I'm built like a cake pop or whatever.
Yeah. Well, was a lot of that stuff, was it in the car? The early stuff?
Yeah. It was always on the car. Just because that was this, like, it's loud or it's bad lighting, and my apartment didn't have overhead lights. So it was just bad lighting. So the car was just, I can set the phone on the steering wheel and there's lighting coming in and it just looked good. Which reminds me, I mean, if you want beef, if you want to talk about some beefs, I think it was Luis G. Gomez. You know who that is?
Yeah.
And like Ian Findance and what's his name? Ari Shafir. And another guy. They don't even know who I am. But one of my viral, like, I'm making up slang to gaslight my students. One of those videos went viral. And I think it was Luis G. Gomez shows. He's like, they're just one of those podcasts where they're looking at viral videos. And he's like, hey, check this out, guys. Isn't it funny? And like Ian Findance and Ari Shafir and all them are like, nah, that's gay and stupid. And so Gomez is like, yeah, you're right. It is stupid. I don't know why I liked that. And immediately was just like, not even like, oh man, I found it funny. And they then like, immediately went from that to like using like the F slur, not even about me. And I think one of them even said the N-word or something like that.
What?
But somebody just sent me this clip of like,
it's like the Legion of Skanks joint.
Like
one of those.
Yeah, it's one like Skankfest, right? That's like one of the like they're some of those dudes, right? And like, but they were like making fun of me, like, this guy's such a tryhard. He set up a tripod in his car to film this, and I'm just like,
comedy is a try hard. Look. I mean, if you look, doing comedy is try hard. I told you this last night too. Comedians, if you're listening, you're not a comedian. A lot of us, when we do off stage with each other, is shit on other comedians. That is part of it. Yeah. A lot of times we don't do it on camera because it's distasteful, but whatever. But one thing I've tried to do is realize that at the end of the day, all of us are that Sam that you spoke of that's in the back of a pizza shop doing an open mic, in a way that we're all trying to follow our dreams. We all came for a different thing and said, all right, I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing here, whether it be teaching, cooking, whatever, coaching, and I'm going to try stand up.
Yeah.
So I think like the public like shitting on a comedian, especially a new comedian like that, is kind of lame as hell to me.
Well, it was just funny to me because the thing that I got most upset about was like, I didn't set up a tripod.
Right. Yeah.
It was just on the steering wheel. I didn't try that hard.
Right.
But I was also like, this is just funny to me because like, it's very funny, like the insecurity of like when dudes are hanging out, if one dude's like, I think this is funny and cool, and the rest of them are like, no, he just immediately folded and was like,
yeah. That's lame.
Yeah, it's gay and stupid. I'm just like, okay, guys. And it's just like one of those things where I'm like, again, they don't know I'm a comedian. They don't know I do stand up. Like, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, it is try hard to post on social media.
Sure.
Do you know how insane you have to be like, hey, I think people should spend their hard-earned money in this kind of economy to come hear me speak for an hour?
Right.
So yes, it is like, I am posting. I'm posting videos on like even Kev on stage. He's got like,
he does that a lot though. I like how he posts a lot about that. Of like, I don't like posting. I get cringe when I post. I don't like posting. I actually appreciate that because it gives more levity to the whole situation.
So this man has 2 million followers and like has people. He is like mainstream famous to a large group of people, and he's still being like, let me create content. Amy Poehler could just be chilling, and she is doing a podcast where they are clipping up the podcast and making sure those clips go out there to feed the. There's A-list movie actors who maintain a YouTube channel where content is being put out there. So that's just one of those things where I'm just like, all right, guys, you made fun of me for putting out content. Do I think my content is like cutting edge, cool stuff? Can sometimes it be hack? Yes. But also, is it really cool when I have a show in Chicago, the Comedy Bar Chicago, on a Thursday night, and it's sold out? And yes, I do some jokes about teaching, but then I also do jokes about my mom being in hospice and dying of brain cancer, and those people are laughing just as hard, if not harder, at those jokes than they are the teaching jokes. I'm just like, so I'll post cringe stuff, to be cringe is to be free, whatever you want to say. Like,
I think if you're showing up as your authentic self online, that's the only time I get annoyed, when it's like, oh, you're being a caricature of something else. But I feel like you do remind me of like white Kevin on stage.
I've always said this.
You're like white Kevin. You're like a good white, like, I didn't know that until just now, but you remind me of like a nice.
We can both bench 225.
Can he really? Is that his thing?
Someone was like making fun of the way he put on like a South Carolina women's jersey, and a body positivity, but he did not look like the most athletic man in the jersey. And so he's like, well, check this out. And he took film of him benching 225, and it was like,
shout out to Kevin on stage. All right, so we're here. I'm proud of you, brother, for the career that you built for yourself. Even since we finished callbacks, I feel like you've hit another level within your career, which is exciting to see. What is something that you love to see right now?
What's something I'd love to see right now? I mean, this is such like a basic answer, but when people just have a basic amount of levels of empathy.
Ooh, not to get political, but yeah.
Or just like critical thinking.
Yeah.
Like just basic amounts of that. I think it's like kind of, I don't know. It is very easy to I think we were talking about this yesterday. Like Matt Rife is like the poster boy for this, where people are like, that guy sucks. And it's just like, I'm not saying I'm a fan of Matt Rife's stand up, but it's just like, hey man, he made any one of us, if we could sell out Madison Square Garden because we post our little like crowd work clips,
we'd do it.
We'd be doing it. So I don't agree with everything. And I'm not saying we should have, the person who needs empathy the most is some rich, famous, white, straight comedian.
In Vermont,
But I just think there's like a bunch of people who are ready to like clown people for sillier reasons. And I don't know, just basic. This is also, I mean, you can cut this out if you want. We're recording this on the day where there was like ICE just killed a second person in Minneapolis.
Your hometown.
Yeah, and there's like people in my DMs like, well, why were they there? And I'm just like, even if they needed to be arrested. Anyway, it's just, I think like a cheesy Pinterest quote is like, oh, what radicalized you? And it's like, nothing radicalized me. Just I have basic amounts of empathy, and the world made that to seem radical.
Yeah, right. Yeah. In a time where everything feels very individualistic, from like, we got to get money, we got to figure it out, we got to like, even though we have the phones that connect us, I think we're very separated in a way, and we like lost a sense of community. Like a lot of us even live far from our families, so even that initial community has divided us a little bit due to the ability of like transportation and stuff. But that makes me, my last question for you, I guess, is like, as you grow your career, and I think a lot of what we see online is like maybe frustration from not our heroes, but people we look up to or we watch on TV, online, whatever, maybe not speaking out enough, or where they like DJ Khaled, for example, saying nothing about Palestine as an example. As you grow your career, how do you balance that of like growing an audience of people that you like, but also having to contemplate, like, is this going to cost me money, or is it going to cost me opportunities? And because you're at a point where you're like, real dollars are starting to come across your table, where a lot of people ignore it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I've learned is if you're just authentically yourself, then you don't have to worry about it too much. Like if you're putting out a statement because you think is this going to make me look right that I put out a statement? Because I think some people would hate this take, but I do think there can be places that are like there's so many horrors of the world, and use your platform to speak up. But I do think it's fine if there are spaces that are just surface level stuff where I can just laugh and forget things. Yeah. And so I think for a lot of it, it's like, people don't follow me for anything more than just surface level little jokes. Yeah. Okay. However, ICE is coming into schools in LA where I've taught those communities that they're tearing apart. I'm saying something about that. Yeah. Like there's my home state, there's people being murdered, and like it's kind of underreported, like the horrors that are going on. Like I'm gonna speak out on that, and if that costs me money, like I don't know, there's stuff that's not even like bad out there, but I've said no to like a big brand deal before just because it's just like, no, that's not really my brand.
Sure.
Like I don't know, that's kind of more like, again, it's nothing like heinous, but it's just like more to do with like sex and stuff like that. It's just that's not really what. There's nothing morally wrong with this, but it's just not. Yeah, it's not me, and I just think if you're just trying to chase, oh well, this is a trend, like oh well, it seems like it's a photo op, so let me do this. Because honestly, this was not my goal, but like today, I was just like, hey, my faith tells me to love my enemy, but that seems like a pretty impossible thing to do right now, like to have anything close to love for like ICE or this administration. Because I'm just like, this is just authentically how I feel. Right. And this was not my intention at all, but the support, sure, I'm sure some people unfollowed me without saying anything. And there's a couple people crazy in my comments being like, what about when the Democrats did this? Even though I said nothing about Democrats. But the overwhelming response to that was, hey, I love you even more now. Oh, thanks for speaking up. And one woman was like, I want to return these tickets. And I'm just like, okay, cool. But there's people that are like, hey, because you said this, I didn't know what kind of person you are, but I actually do want to come to your live show now. Sure. So again, that's not the reason why I spoke up on it, but I've just kind of learned like, yeah, if you're just authentically sharing what's in your heart, then you kind of can live with someone saying, I'm not coming to your show, or someone saying, oh, I am coming to your show. Because yeah, I'm not just like, oh, I'm going to pivot into talking politics. I'm not talking politics. I'm just like, hey, this is basic human decency. Right, people are being killed. So like, I'm gonna speak up on this. So
yeah, I think it's important as like all of us grow, because you're going to go from where you're at now to 1 million followers. You know, like for me, it's where I'm at now to where you're at. So it's like it's all those things that I think the real people that I legitimately admire are ones that have built their audience and their career with people that they authentically also love and appreciate and like want to be around, like in different walks of life. I would hate to be a prisoner of my audience where I don't like, these people are not people that I enjoy. And I gotta like now tell jokes placate and it's placate to them. And it's like that's not what I would want to do this for. Yeah.
I've also found like there are sometimes it's really hard to resist clapping back at people, because it's usually the trolls that say really like, I'm like, they're saying dumb things, or I'm a professional stand-up comedian. Yeah. Brother, you're trying to troll me, and I found your podcast link in your bio, and it doesn't have any shares, comments, or views.
Nasty way.
And you're going to come at me like, I can think of some funny things to say, but I think when I do just appropriately respond, like not flying off the handle, but I just say like, hey, I'm abolish ICE. My faith is against this. I've even had some people who are like politically opposed to me that say like, well, I don't agree with you, but you're still funny, so I'm going to keep following you. And I'm kind of just like, okay, well, change your political beliefs. But like, even the people who disagree with me, they're just like, all right, well, he didn't say, I hope all you people die.
Sure.
Even though that's like emotionally maybe what I could.
Yeah, right. Like, viscerally, yeah.
Like, but like, yeah. So I just kind of like, I don't know. I just, it's all going to work out. And I guess I do have the privilege of like, I have a wife who makes good money and a life where it's just like there's so many safety nets where it's like if all of this went to hell, I have some sisters or a dad that I can move into their basement until I get back on my feet. So I guess that also puts me in a spot where I'm just like, I'll speak up on the things that I want to speak up on, and if I get backlash for it, we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday too on the way to the venue of like, I've never been one of those comedians to be like, I don't know what I would do with my life if not for comedy. Like I have no other skills. Like, brother, I would go somewhere and build tiny houses or open up a coffee. Like I would like make clothes. Like I love comedy, and it's truly ruled my life since I've started. I've lost relationships, I've gained relationships from it. But I would never let it rule me in a way that, I would not be my authentic self. But anyways, I know we got a show to do here. Love you, brother. Thank you so much for doing this.
If you guys don't subscribe, I'm putting you on a watch list.
Tell somebody in that camera right there what you love about them.
What I love about them?
Yeah, the people that are going to listen to this. We've done this before for callbacks. Just speak to them directly, wholeheartedly.
But who am I talking to?
The listeners.
Okay, I want to say that I love that you're supporting a strong, independent black man like Danny Sellers.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that you are listening to this. I love that you're giving independent artist doing it his own way a chance.
Type shit.
And I want to say I love you, Pittsburgh Steelers, but I actually hate you because you're ruining my life with your franchise coaching hires and decisions lately.
Go Bengals.
Okay, that's horrendous. And I do want to say, who else do I want to give love to?
Streets.
I do got love for the streets.
Okay. Thank y'all for listening. This is another episode of Dated. Bye.
I don't want to be with anyone but you. Nobody gets me, you do.